What do you see on this slide? This is a photo containing a summary of what students learned in biodiversity. Everything under the roof. I say roof, but on Earth, beyond the Earth, from the sky to the oceans, underneath the oceans, inside the for something that's so big until those that we can't see. So basically, in biodiversity, students learned a lot of things. So that is what something I want to show you today. My name is Wan Suryani Falik Adiba Wan Ibrahim, and I am from the Faculty of Bioengineering and Technology from University Malaysia Kelantan. Today I'll be presenting BioD Made Easy, Enhancing Learning in Biodiversity through the Creative Medium. These are my teammates. We have Dr. Asana Haradi here, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Azlina Ibrahim, Puan Wan Suzana Afani Adiba Wan Ibrahim, and Dr. Nur Sakina Muhammad Tamat. Let us look into why do I want to do this in the first place. It is because this was my second cohort teaching this subject. The first one in 2022, the cognitive level was very poor. And this is a literacy challenges among young learners. As I've shown you earlier, that in biodiversity, students learned a lot of things from outside of the sky, in the sky, from as big as the whale to as small as something that we can't see, like the bacteria. So the purpose of our study was to increase student learning outcome in the biodiversity subject through implementing knowledge transfer theory during a service learning project. The objective was to observe the enhancement of the learning biodiversity through creation of the creative medium, which is children's book or comic book, based on the topics of the biodiversity subject, which then we use this to further enhance the learning capability by knowledge transfer through a service learning project with school students. Now, what is creative mediums? All right, so in this case, comic, we know that comic is used to register, document, and summarize information in order to deliver knowledge in an engaging and accessible style, and even for the creation and dissemination of scientific knowledge. Yes, and we can see lots of comic books nowadays on the shelf in a market that helps young learners to understand science, but through creative medium, through comic. So need for concentration and encoding decoding process that students go through when creating and interpreting comics become learning enhancing elements. This is where our students will just read whatever the information, the topics under the biodiversity subject, understand the topic, transfer it into a creative medium, make it simpler. So the target audience, which I told them the target audience will be young school students. So this is what I did before through CO3, which is to discuss current issues related to biodiversity, ecosystem, and human life. It involved 138 students from two courses, which is Bioindustrial Technology and Forest Resources Technology. So they work in a group 4 or 5, which I've mentioned earlier. They have this biodiversity topic that they have to transfer it, create a comic or children book. And this was presented in a Gear Up for STEM program. And after that, I collect some reflection to understand what they have gone through, like how do they feel after that. It involves 138 MK students, this is a program where we tested out the comic books. 8 Jolly Primary School students, which involve 121 school students, and we have 34 books produced. So these are among of the example of the books that have been produced. The first one is My Farm, This book talks about what happens in a farm, the ecology, the ecosystem in a farm, in a farm, in a farm setting. Mushroom Tragedy talks about mushroom types of mushrooms and what we would do with mushrooms. The Tale of Sungai Kim Kim talks about the incident happened in Sungai Kim Kim in Malaysia a long time ago, and how this has affected, to make it easier word to understand it. We have water cycle, as easy as telling how the water cycle works. The bacteria, Bob the bacteria, and Crying Ocean talks about the pollution that happens in the ocean. So these are some of the example of the books that have been produced. These are the list of the books that have been produced, which covers the various topics available in the biodiversity subject, which includes animalia, conservation, fungi, ecosystem. There's a lot of different topics there, so they are related to it. So how do I access it? Okay, first of all, it's about 30%. So 10% goes to the content, 5% goes to the organization, 5% consultation, 5% originality, and 5% creativity. Now, 10% is the biggest marks given because I have to make sure that the content is right, because that is the most essential part of it. And that relates to the consultation, where I record how many times they have come and see me to consult. So there are groups that don't do any consultation and the outcomes was not that well. So these are the what I have suggested for the assessment of the book. Now, usefulness and practicality, I'll see this as the implementation of knowledge transfer process. We see here during this program called Gear Up for STEM, UMK at school, we have school students coming and they read the books. And this is a group that did on the water cycles. They have some activities going on there. The students read whatever that has been written in that comic, and they're involved in this how to say this little activity. Okay, so these are the students' reflection. They felt that mostly have 90% and more that there are engagement and impact. So what I am more interested is this two component here, which is knowledge and understanding, and also personal growth. How do they see themselves when they did this work? How does the understanding affect, like, there's a lot of topic to be covered under the biodiversity subject. So this is the important elements that I want to see. And this is the impact on the cognitive domain analysis. We have here quiz 1, quiz 2, and quiz 3. What are the difference between this? Is quiz 1 was done before the process, the comic creation process, and quiz 2 and quiz 3 was done after. And we can see that the graph moved towards the right side where the understanding gets better. And this is the impact on the cognitive domain analysis, where I can see it has moved from poor to good. Alhamdulillah. So in conclusion, this creation has successfully fulfilled the knowledge transfer, and the students understood the topic, transformed it, and presented it well. And it has shown by the successful of the improvement from poor to good for the course learning outcome. So this is the challenge. The first one, this is summary that we have biodiversity literacy, and the task is to create the children's book. And how do we do that? We have created the children's book that is for our undergraduate students, and the action, we have engagement with the primary school students. We have the positive impact with the community. I know that we did this so-called Sulam program, but the main thing in this presentation today, I want to show you that we can use comic or children's book as something to help our students to understand better the topic. Okay, these are the challenges and the recommendation: smaller groups, intimate engagement, close monitoring and stuff. Potential, of course, there are potential of these publications of this book, but we need to organize it better. So thank you. Hope you have enjoyed my biodiversity journey today. As you can see along my slides, there are photos on the sides. Those are the things that our students learn throughout this subject. There's a lot of things to learn. So thank you.